Welcome to the third episode of the Customers AI podcast. We're talking about cookies today. It's going to get messy. It's going to get a little messy because it's a little bit complicated, but we were talking before the show and we think that marketers should understand this stuff or at least have some semblance of understanding. So Larry, you're ready to do a bit of a screen share and walk through how some of this works?
I think the best way to go through this is just show them an example. Why don't you pull up your screen here?
Okay, let's do it. So we're going to go through a bit of a fictitious scenario. We're going to click on a Nike ad. So let's say, it doesn't really matter where this click happens actually, but let's say you're on your phone because these are formatted for the phone. Let's say you click shop now on the ad when you're on Instagram, and then you land on Nike, okay? And when you land on Nike, there's this part of the URL that carries some information about the click that you just made on Facebook. So it says FBCL ID. What that stands for is a Facebook click ID. And that has all the information, scarily, about you, and it's transferred to the website. So the website knows who made the click. And then that information can be passed on to Facebook so they know what happened with the click, like did you buy or not. So it starts up in the URL, and then it's actually saved directly into a cookie. And that cookie is right here. You can see the FBCL ID was test here, and then we have a test here. So we've now made a link from the ad click all the way into the cookie on the website. Now, just as a caveat, it doesn't matter if this is an ad click or not. This could be an email. So this is same thing with Klaviyo, same thing with MailChimp. It doesn't really matter. Most of these systems are doing some tracking with a URL parameter, and then it makes it into a cookie. Larry, how am I doing? Did I miss anything?
Yeah, so I think we need to talk about, now that we know what this is, we need to talk about like what the issues are. Like the first issue is this cookie that just got set here is a third-party cookie. Like this is the meta script that you loaded on your site. That's a third party because it's not your website. Like it's like a third-party vendor. And this one will get blown away by the end of the session. Like it'll be honored for until you stop clicking. And once you close this tab, it'll be obliterated in all browsers other than Chrome, right? Chrome likes cookies because they're an ad company. So they're like, why should we get rid of these? This is crazy. We're shooting ourselves in the foot, right? But Apple, they don't like this. So these get obliterated right away. So this implies that you need some kind of a solution that takes this number and does something with it. Like it's pretty complicated, but as it is, that's like a very ephemeral, like evaporating identifier, and something else has to kind of save or persist that in a more durable way that doesn't get obliterated right away.
Sure. Okay. But hang on. Before we go there, what happens when it does get obliterated? So like what you're saying is in a day or maybe even less than a day, this cookie is now gone.
Yeah.
But as I browse the site, what happens? What does that mean?
Well, it's the web is stateless, so it means it's not like you have like an internet where the first thing you do to get onto the internet information highway is to log in with your license plate or something. Like it's stateless, it's anonymous. So without these identifiers, like the brand wouldn't know who the person is or where they came from. So that's like, the core thing, which I think is kind of a bummer from a marketing perspective, because we would like to know who the person is for several reasons. One is for attribution and ROI calculation. So like, we got this many sales from these campaigns. So I think that's a pretty important use case. And the other, there's two other use cases. One is personalization. So like if we remember that this is John and John has certain preferences, we can change the appearance of the experience. And
just as simple as showing men's or women's.
Exactly.
Right?
And then a third use case is kind of actively triggering campaigns. So this could be emails that you get if you leave something in your cart. This could be a remarketing ad that you see on like the Google Display Network or on Instagram, because we recognize that John was here and didn't buy something, so we'll either send them emails or send them ads like off platform. So those are really great ways to harvest the demand that you're creating. But all of this is really centralized on this idea of a cookie identifier, which you know just isn't as durable as it used to be, unfortunately.
Hmm. Okay, so let me review. Hang on. If my cookie goes away or my customer's cookie goes away,
you're, you're in big trouble here.
you are in big trouble. First of all, you don't know if in this case, your Facebook ad worked. So maybe it worked, but Facebook's going to report that it didn't. So if I go and buy this product right now, this shoe, the Nike P6000, we deleted the cookie. Facebook's never going to be able to connect that ad click that I made to my purchase. So in your reporting, it's going to report 0, even though it actually caused a purchase. That's like that's a huge problem. There's another thing that you didn't mention, which is optimization. The other problem here is that the ad platform, if they don't know who you are and you're buying, now their ability to optimize and send you the type of people who are actually going to buy, that's damaged. So now they can only send you kind of, in the worst case scenario, almost just like a broad audience rather than people they know are in the market for shoes and are about to buy. That's another huge problem.
Yeah, the ad targeting is all AI and machine learning, and by definition, any of these systems, in order to kind of narrow in on your perfect audience, is only as good as the data that gets sent back. And in the case of digital advertising, that was the conversion data, which unfortunately is lost.
Yeah.
Now, the good news here is that there are companies that can solve this. Customers AI has pretty sophisticated tech that addresses a lot of these challenges in terms of like wanting to know who the heck is on your site, and or if an existing customer is coming back, and if we can do this identification in a way that you know knock on wood, it's not impacted by any of these these recent changes or near future changes in browser policy. And we think it's very durable, and it kind of brings it back to the golden ages of internet marketing. I would describe it as like 2018 which was before all the browsers started declaring cookies as being the enemy of the state, and and making life harder for marketers.
Yeah. We can actually show a chart. Hang on. I'll edit this out, but I'm going to go to that hex chart that I made because I think that could be potentially interesting here. Okay, so we'll actually show you the difference here. This is what the kind of like magnitude of the difference is. And now we're talking about Klaviyo. So we didn't really review why ESPs matter so much in this video, but this is just as important for your email as it is for your ads, because the emails you trigger, like the flows you trigger, are so important to driving revenue. Like Larry says, you said it's 50%, right? Roughly 50% of an account is driven.
The email attributed revenues is driven by like flows, which are driven by these kind of data signals. Like, John is he abandoned a cart, or he abandoned a product view, or so what you're looking at here is customers.ai versus Klaviyo's kind of built-in pixel, which is something called extended ID or something like this, and we're looking at product views for how many times does somebody view a product, and we can successfully identify the person accurately, or not know who the heck that person is. And there's a huge gap. I think it's like, what is this, like 4 times?
Yeah, I think it's 3 to 4 times, something like that.
Typically, what we see is our ability to re-identify people is 3 to 4 times better than standard pixeling, and so this just gives you more signal to then send out those in this case, it would be product view emails. Like we saw you were looking at this product. Here's a coupon for 10% or something like this. Like just to try to harvest this demand, and it's like the most leveraged thing in email marketing, because this type of triggered email has the highest revenue per email send. Like it's second only to like cart and checkout abandonment flows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you could look at this as you can send out, hypothetically, this is not quite accurate, but hypothetically, you could send out an extra 3,000 emails a day just on this one event, and you'd probably have similar counts for collection views and add to carts and checkout abandons. And you get the idea here. You're generating way more signal, and you can act off of it versus this baseline that Klaviyo provides you. One thing that's important to kind of clarify here, Customers AI does first-party tracking and third-party tracking. First-party tracking is tracking of your existing contacts. We're not guessing at who the customer is at all. What we're showing you here, this is just your first-party, or what we call resignal. So don't think that, oh, the reason this is because Customers AI knows people who we don't, and they're introducing that into our system. That's not the case, correct?
Yeah, no, this is these are all first party.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we walked through why cookies are important. They impact ESPs. They impact ad platforms. You can see the nuts and bolts here. This is the kind of stuff that we look at every day. And then you can see, which we post all day, every day, revenue examples of how much more money that we can make by, well, I don't know how you want to term it, fixing some of these cookie issues. Let's keep it that simple. Did we miss anything?
Yeah, I just the way I would describe it is cookie churn. So
Uh-huh.
I think that your ability to do marketing, all those great things that we love to do, like attribution, campaigns, it has a lot to do with cookies, and there's data loss in cookies. It's typically 20 to 25% per month, and so that it compounds pretty quickly. Like you could have, uh, 1 million opted-in visitors, and have literally no idea who these people are. Like the linkages would be broken within a month or 2 or 3 months. And so
Uh-huh.
this is why we think technologies like Customers.ai are super important to restore those linkages.
Yeah. This also has a direct relation to the news on iOS 26 right now. Like the fact that iOS 26 will block some of the click IDs, one of them being the Facebook click ID that we just went through, means that that cookie never actually gets created at all. It's not going to impact Klaviyo right now, and we'll do another episode on iOS 26, but I think the reason I bring it up is it would be nice if marketers knew the link between these changes that are happening in the browser and what actually happens in terms of like optimization, attribution, tracking, all that really important stuff that people build their marketing around.
Yeah, in a nutshell, the iOS Safari is stripping out that parameter from when you click on when John clicked on that ad and went to the website. You saw that there was a parameter on the URL. That parameter is being deleted. By it's not that it's not being put there by Meta. It's being stripped out by the browser and operating system.
Yeah, they're filtering it out. It's a huge change. We'll see what happens. There's probably going to be a little bit of chaos over the next couple months with this, but I think that was good. I think we hopefully conveyed a little bit of information on how the clicks are linked to cookies, and hopefully you understood a little bit of what we're doing at Customers AI. That's it. Let's cut it here. Thanks, Larry.
Thanks.